Hi there, welcome to CarlaVoyance, where I discuss all things intuitive, Akashic records, and counselling. I'm the owner of Carla's Realignments and the author of various personal development books. I'm your host, Carla Savannah. Thank you for joining me.
Good morning, Patreon family. Welcome to our newest members, Mark, Stella, and Mandy. Hopefully you all listened to the first audio on relationships last week. How did you all go with recognizing the first stages of love? Were you able to recognize when someone was feeling unloved or an absence of love? Were you able to recognize when someone is experiencing the idea of love or desires to feel loved by others, but still trying very unhealthy ways or patterns of loving others? These two stages can be highly confronting because they force us to look deeply at our survival instincts. Feeling an absence of love and a desire to love forces us to look at our physical human tendencies. When we look at our basic emotions and needs, such as safety, security, support, procreation, and the desire, we become uncomfortable because it means that we have to accept that we are still blood and bone, and our human is just as important as our soul self within this existence. Let's look at the next two stages on Carla's love scale. Moving on to conditional love. On the scale, conditional love represents control and conditionality. At this level, a person has been taught that they will only be loved if they offer something or they are a certain way. Sadly, this stage is most often abused by parents. Subconsciously, a parent has the expectation of their child to fulfill some sort of need within themselves. Be a good boy, be a respectful girl, study this or make that much money, make me look good and make me proud, make me feel significant. Unfortunately, that's when parenting can become conditional. Another example of this stage within relationships is when people say, I will only love you if, and the list is endless. I will only love you if you marry me, if you give me children, if you financially support me, if you promise never to leave me, if you choose me over your family, and so on and so on. The main emotions that you will see come up within the stage of conditional love are anxiety, expectation, judgment, significance, validation, control, dominance, confidence or even a lack of self-confidence, selfishness, possessiveness, resentment, anger, jealousy, and manipulation. The biggest challenge for a person stuck in this conditional phase is learning to take accountability and responsibility for their own desires, their own hopes, needs, or wants. As long as the person is relying on another person to fulfill their needs, they will constantly be in a position of powerlessness, handing over their ability to be happy to someone else. There's an old saying, if you're waiting for someone else to change in order for you to be happy, then you risk never being happy, because the other person may never change. Now let's move on. Let's look at the stepping into love phase, also known as just coming into love. This is a very pivotal moment in a person's life. It's where a major shift starts to happen. This stage is often recognized by its need for balance. Here a person is recognizing their own responsibility to make themselves happy. This type of accountability makes this person have a sense of neutrality or flexibility or empathy and cooperativeness with others. They understand that no one has to lose out in order for them to have their own needs met. When a person starts stepping into love, the focus no longer becomes about what others can provide for them, but rather what they can provide for themselves. Self-love becomes more of a priority and a key to opening up to greater love. The most common emotions felt within this stage of stepping into love is compassion, courage, empathy, self-love, starting to love another, appreciation for the self and others, introspection, self-discovery, and self-satisfaction. Here a person starts to trust that they can meet their own needs. The main lesson here is learning to surrender and to be vulnerable with oneself. You have accepted that you are human with your physical needs, but now you are starting to accept that you are an emotional being with feelings and emotional needs also. This stage feels like the heart has just been cracked open, and it's easy to cry at the drop of a hat. The state of the previous one, conditional love, makes you seek out proud moments by how much others love you. But when you enter this stage of stepping into love, you start to feel proud about the love that you have achieved within yourself instead. Notice how the previous stage is about how you can get energy from others, whereas this stage, it's about how you access energy that's within yourself already. Next week, I'll go into the last 3 stages, which are focused on the needs of the soul. If you are wanting more information about Carla's love scale and how we work our way up from the absence of love all the way up to unconditional love, please consider buying my books, 21st Century Relationships. Book 1 and Book 2 will be sure to challenge the way you view and experience your relationships. So don't miss out on the next audio, and please let me know if you have any questions around the topic of relationships or the love scale. I'll be happy to answer any questions here on CarlaVoyance. Tune in next time. I'm Carla Savannah, and I hope you have an amazing day. Mwah.